Good morning. August 3rd, Monday. Terrible Monday for some, manic Monday for others. Let's recap a little bit about what we talked about in the past few days. We talked about cancel culture. We're talking about the punitive and the decisive way the media and certain parties or individuals are separating the American citizenship and the American population, deliberately, coincidental, or politically motivated. We have talked a little bit about identity politics. We've talked about defunding the police and the chaos and bringing our cities back under control because the city governments and state governments in those related particular areas are failing to stand up to anarchy and chaos and lawlessness. We talked about the schools. Why are they not reopening? Is homeschool better than going public school? Of course not. Public school has a lot of advantages over homeschool, but it's a personal choice, and I won't stand in a position that prefers one over the other. That's your choice. Some kids do real good in homeschool. Some kids enjoy the social interaction with their classmates and makes them more challenging to the task of getting educated. The last, but probably one of the most important things we talked about is the preservation of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is on the ballot this November. We talked about gun control and the way that certain political individuals are downplaying gun control, but in reality, they want to confiscate your weapons. They want to limit your capacity or capability to possess a weapon. And it's a very serious issue that needs to be addressed in November because whoever gets the office and whoever takes the oath of office, they're going to determine whether or not your Second Amendment remains intact or whether it's going to be severely limited, if not restricted, as proposed by some candidates in this election. Let's get real. This is a terrible, terrible time in our country. We're divided. Cancel culture is causing people to fight with each other over opinions, over ideologies, over religion, over race, and it's not getting any better. So how can we make it better? Well, we can start talking with each other with a civil tongue. We can start listening to people with an open mind. And we need to really take it serious. We are being divided on purpose and for political reasons. They want us not to go to the ballot box. They want us to stay home, and they want us not to exercise our constitutional right to speak our mind, to have our voices heard, and let them know that the course that they're on today is destructive to America, it's destructive to our neighborhoods, and it's destructive to our community. Now, what can I say specifically about defunding the police? They're first responders. If every citizen was allowed to own a weapon, we wouldn't need the police. However, that's not the case. There are many people who shouldn't have weapons, whether it be their mental capacity, or whether it be their lifestyle, or whether it be something that is not statutorily right for them to possess a weapon. I can say that, for example, felony offenders are prohibited from having or owning or even possessing a firearm. That's a good law. I believe in it. You can't give a gun to everybody to replace the police. But some people are suggesting that, and that's asinine. It's just totally idiotic thinking. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about things that concern you and things that impact you in a way that you need to talk to something about it. You need to talk to somebody about it. You need to do something about it. And we are the silent majority, but our silent majority has been silent too long. And we need to really get off our hands and start speaking up of how we feel. Now, I'll give you an example. There are people out there who wear Trump hats. And there's a lot of people out there who want to vote for Trump but don't wear hats. Why? Because of the intimidation. The intimidation by the Black Lives Matter, the intimidation by the leftists and the Antifa groups. The people who support Joe Biden, for example, are anti freedom of speech. They preach freedom of speech, but only for them. If you disagree with them, you can't talk. You can't have an opinion. You can't be who you are because they don't agree with you. That is a cancel culture. Now, they want to defund the police. Why? Because they want to own the streets. They want to own the neighborhood. They want to make the rules. It's sort of like, okay, maybe far-fetched, but let's talk about it. Okay? Sharia law. Sharia law is not a constitutional law. But yet, if we give the power and the authority to people who believe in Sharia law, we are going to drift away from the Constitution. And every basic right that we have as American citizens is going to be taken away. Is that what you're prepared for? Are you prepared to give up everything that you've earned, sweat, blood, and tears? Your family, sweat, blood, and tears? Your history, sweat, blood, and tears? Don't give it up. Go to the ballot. Go vote. Express your voice through a ballot. November is only a couple months away. We need to start being louder. And that's what this video is about today. Get louder, America. Get expressive, America. Get involved, America, because if you don't, we're going to lose America. And that's the truth. So, if we talk about defunding the police, which is a horrible idea, if we talk about cancel culture, which is basically character assassination that gets people fired or people punished or basically erased from society, it's wrong. Let's talk about opening the schools back up. Let's get the kids back up in school. So as a recap, let's talk about this. I'm asking you, talk about it. Because if we don't talk about it, it's not going to get solved. Talking is a vehicle for the solution. Listening is a vehicle for the solution. Talking is important. You can't remain silent forever. And if you do, then don't complain about what you lost. Don't complain about what you cannot do because you didn't speak up. It takes more courage to stand up by yourself. Did I say courage? I meant courage. It takes more courage to stand up when nobody else is standing up. It's like that analogy of the basketball player who remained standing while everybody else was kneeling. That puts a spotlight on you, and that puts a lot of pressure on you. But if you got the courage to do it, then it's worth standing up for. And that's what America is all about, courage. We are the bravest country in the world when it comes to defending our institution of values, morals, religious rights, civil rights, human rights. We are the best. But right now, the way it stands, we are losing ground on those issues. So get out, talk, wear your cap, wave your flag, stand up for what you believe in. And if you believe in the opposite side, hey, I can respect that. But you know what? Be reasonable. Don't give away the things that we've earned sweat, blood, and tears. Think about it. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a part of the herd. The herd mentality is catching on because weakness is growing in America. The weakness is growing because they think that if you're in a group, you're strong, you have a better position, you got leverage over government. To some degree, that's true. Government are listening to groups, but the quality of the groups is questionable. The motive of the groups is questionable, and I think you need to wake up and really listen to what's being said because it's not for the better and it's not for the overall good for America. It's meant to destroy American values. It's a communist type of attack, assault on our Constitution that erases your rights in a sense that whatever you have today may be gone after November. So talk about it, listen, get involved, stop being silent. Get out there, vote, get out there and express yourself. Don't be afraid. There's a lot more people out there that agree with you when it comes to left, right, or right. If you're in the middle, if you're a conservative, that's fine. If you're a liberal and you're on the left, that's fine. That's your right. We fought for that right for you to be there. But don't destroy other people's lives doing it. Don't defund the police who are protecting us. And most of all, take care of our kids in school because that's where they belong. They need to be educated and they need to get erased by those groups that want to control their minds. You understand what I'm saying? Erased. That's a terrible word. But there's teachers out there, backed up by teacher unions, that want to erase history, they want to erase religion, they want to erase atrocities, and they want to erase bias and racism. You can't erase it. I'm telling you right now, you can't erase it. It's a permanent cornerstone of our society. You can't erase what these people want to erase. They're trying to mainline and streamline you into a position that does away with everything else that we fought for, everything we've earned, and everything that we've received, not as a privilege, but as a right. So keep your rights by voting November. Don't stay home. Don't let the COVID-19 pandemic be an excuse for you being lazy and not get out there. Remember, I believe that mail-in ballots encourage fraud, but there are legitimate reasons for mail-in ballots. People who can't be there on election day, follow the law. Use an absentee ballot, sign it, signature, put a signature on it. If you don't, it's meaningless, because not only does it put you up for being incomplete as a voter, it cancels out your vote. You don't want to do that. If you want to take the time to vote, go to the ballot box or submit an absentee ballot. For those who are in the military or are unable to attend the election day personally, but don't ignore your responsibility and your American given right to vote. One voice, one vote. Keep it that way. Don't let Congress and don't let people tell you otherwise. We are the best country in the world. Absolutely. No exceptions. You have a good day, August 3rd.